What's up everyone, I'm back with another 3 free-to-play money-making methods with no skill requirements. I mean, I should probably come up with a different name for this series since quite often these money makers turn out to be shit. But that is up for future me to handle. Present me already has enough stuff to handle on his own. Either way, I hope you do enjoy the video, and without further ado, let's jump right into the money makers. First off, I decided to try out a money-making method that had been on my mind for quite some time now. Maybe even for years I have considered trying it out, and yet still, somehow it didn't happen. And apparently even the game itself was against it, as when I started the 1 hour timer, the game started the 30-minute game update timer. But I wasn't gonna let that stop me, I had to do this. If not for the video, then at least for my personal curiosity. And so, after an hour in the Blue Moon Inn chatting up the bartender and probably seeming like the biggest alcoholic in the universe, I had collected 476 mugs of beer, which I managed to sell for a collective 24,000 coins. But what was more rewarding was the fact that I had finally satisfied my curiosity. Next up, I decided to collect grain. I mean, there is market for every item in the game, so there had to be a market for grain as well, right? Gambling on the fact that there might be people who are interested in buying grain, I proceeded to spend an hour picking wheat just behind the Cook's Guild. I did consider making flour from the grain to make even more money, but I realized that the only viable place to do so is the Cook's Guild, and you need high level cooking to enter, so that was a no-go. The hour was very boring. In fact, I actually fell asleep for a couple of minutes while doing this. Nevertheless, I completed the allocated time and made a surprisingly decent amount of 33,000 coins from selling the 900 pieces of grain I had managed to collect. Lastly, I decided to head on back to Lumbridge and see if there are any money makers there. And for my surprise, I found sheep. I don't know how I managed to forget about sheep, but either way I immediately got to work, shearing those poor animals and occasionally kicking the shit out of a ram because, well, I misclicked. After an hour of depriving these poor animals of their wool, I kicked the last ram to death, and went on to Warwick to see if I had made any amount of money. And indeed I had made 35,000 coins, but honestly I wouldn't suggest doing this. Because fuck did it piss me off, rams getting in the way of sheep, being out of run energy and spending a whole minute to catch up to a sheep only to discover it's two fucking penguins in a disguise. I mean, fuck those sheep, man. And this is going to be it for this video. I really do hope you enjoyed it. I sure as hell did. It was pleasantly easy to make this video in comparison to my previous one. I really appreciate all the nice comments you guys are leaving. It really feeds my ego quite a bit, so please don't stop. Leave a comment, leave a like, and maybe subscribe. In fact, definitely subscribe. It's really annoying to see that I have 19 subscribers rather than 20, so get on it. But all jokes aside, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you all in the next one.